Good morning, my friends. How are you? Hope you are fit and fine by the grace of Almighty God. Today, I will discuss about some important short question from the poem Fable, which was written by Ralph Waldo Emerson. So let's start our video. First question: what is fable? A fable is a short narrative in verse, generally with animals as characters, consisting a moral. Who had a quarrel with the squirrel? The mountain had a quarrel with a squirrel. What is not a disgrace to the squirrel? To occupy its place is not a disgrace to the squirrel. What is it that the squirrel does not deny? The squirrel doesn't deny the fact that the mountain is big in size and carries track for the squirrel and even gives him shelter. What did the mountain call the squirrel? The mountain called the squirrel Little Pig. Why did the mountain call the squirrel Little Pig? The mountain mockingly called the squirrel Little Pig because the squirrel played the role of a moralist who considered his opinions to be right. And the farmer called the latter. Quotation: who are referred to here as the former and the latter. In the poem Fable by Ralph Waldo Emerson, the mountain is referred to as the former and the squirrel is referred to as the latter. What is the opinion of squirrel about itself and the mountain? According to the squirrel, the mountain might be much bigger than it in size, but it does not even have half the liveliness and energy of the squirrel. What are needed to make up a year and a sphere? All sorts of things and weather are needed to make up a year and sphere. What is the squirrel's opinion about itself? The squirrel regards itself smaller than the mountain in size, but no less important in terms of proper maintenance of the natural environment. Not half so spry. Quotation: who is not half so spry? The mountain is not half so spry as the squirrel. Mention two qualities of the mountain. On account of its huge size, the mountain can carry forests on its back and it can also make pretty squirrel tracks. Who makes track for the squirrel? The mountain makes track for the squirrel. Which adjective is used by the poet to describe a squirrel track? The adjective pretty is used by the poet to describe a squirrel track. Talent differ, all is well and wisely put. Quotation: explain this line clearly. Very important question. Here the poet suggests that every individual has some distinct, innate quality. Just because someone is larger in size does not mean that is more significant than someone who is tiny in size. The earth exists because of perfect coordination between the big and the small. In which aspect do the mountain and the squirrel differ? The mountain and the squirrel differ in their size and talents. What are the limitations that a mountain or a squirrel have? A squirrel, being a very small animal, cannot carry forest on its back. Similarly, though the mountain is very big, it cannot perform a simple task like cracking a nut. What is the theme of the fable? Very important question. Every living being and non-living things in this earth exist for a special cause. None can be compared or criticized for their shortcomings, as every creature has some unique talents. This is the theme of the poem Fable. Why is the poem given the title Fable? The poem is a short narrative in verse where a mountain and a squirrel, the principal characters, teach a moral lesson. That is why the poem has been titled Fable. Despite being small, why does the squirrel feel it no disgrace to occupy its place? Though the squirrel is a very small animal, it thinks it has an important part to play in the grand scheme of nature. It feels no disgrace because it can perform many such tasks which a mountain cannot. That's all for today's topic.